This will be video 22. I'm gonna actually add the features or stat modifiers to equipment, and then use the equipment on equip and on unequip to activate or deactivate or subscribe and unsubscribe to those events. So, where is all of this stuff? Equipment, here are some weapons. So yeah, I might follow the pattern that I've mentioned before of creating some kind of base feature and then building on top of that with what we want to actually do with it. So add stat feature, or yeah, we'll make an add stat feature. Make let's go features, since this might not be equipment specific, so let's just go for it. Feature, which is a base feature. It will be abstract, since nothing should have just a feature on it. We'll keep it mono behavior. And probably there'll be some kind of apply feature and remove feature. And I guess these will be abstract because this class doesn't know what to do with it. Apply and remove. Let's go add stat feature, and we will build off of feature. It's implement abstract class. So if we're adding a stat, what do we need to know? Serialize field. First we need to know which stat are we actually changing, and then what the value is that we're changing it by. So on apply, we're going to want to add that same on stat check. On get, hey, okay, it's stats on get, there we go. And then when we remove, we will need to remove that on get. Let's just neaten this up a bit, move it down. So who does this feature belong to? It's going to be applied to some kind of object, and it's going to be applied to some kind of unit. So let's look at the hierarchy. Here's a unit. If the feature is on some kind of equipment, then it's going to be a child of the unit. If it's on some kind of status effect, it's going to be a child of the unit. So I think it's probably a safe bet to say in feature, we know what unit we are working with, because it will be the parent unit. Get component in parent unit. Protected, because this is obviously a base class that we want everything else to build on top of, so this needs to be protected so they can use it. If the get component in parent will look into the parent above, then if it can't find anything, it will look into the parent above, and it just keeps going until there's no more parent. So I think that's a fairly safe way of doing it. But yeah, if there's any problems with this, I'll need to come up with a smarter way of figuring out who this belongs to. Because it can't be equipment specific, and then it can't be status specific unless I purposely built it that way. But we'll see how this goes. So if we know what the parent unit is, if the parent unit is not equal to the unit whose stat is changing, return early, don't make any changes to the stat. And then the second thing is, we'll do another check. If e.stat is not equal to the stat that this feature is governing, we return early as well, because we still don't care. Otherwise, we will create a stat modifier. Is it add stat modifier? Add stat modifier equals value to add. This will be value. Yeah, and then we add that to the list. And that's all there is to it, I think. So when we try and get a stat using the unit, this will say, is it my unit I care about? Is it my stat I care about? If it is, then we will change the value by this much. Now, this hasn't been tested on a large scale project where maybe you've got 30 different characters that are all playable and all have their different equipment. So I will need to check when I've got a lot more code in the game. I will spawn, say, 30 units and 30 enemies. They all have equipment. They will all be pinging off get stat requests, and then I'll really get to see if the efficiency is there. Because if not, then again, you just need to do it a different way. Instead of all these events pinging off here and there, maybe you simply modify a value somewhere. Like on the unit, this is another way I've thought about doing it. On the unit, you can have a stats, but then you can also duplicate that and have added stats, and that's all the stats from bonuses from equipping things. They will add straight on to the bonus stats values, and then when you try to gather the total stat, you just add the base stats to the bonus stats, and then even have one that's for multiplying as well. So then you would gather a percentage in another one. So what I mean is, like, this would be base stats, and then you'd have bonus stats and maybe percentage. And then when you're actually tallying it, you would say base stats plus bonus stats. Well, if it's like and then do the calculation to get the percentage stat as well. And that's that wouldn't be sending a million events all over the place, all these different components saying this isn't for me, move on. That all gets bypassed just by adding together values. It seems like a decent way of doing it as well, but I wanted to try out this events-based one first. It seems a bit smarter, but yeah, I want to test out how it actually performs later. Oh, I need to get rid of these and this, and then tidy up. Okay, so add star feature. Let's just see if this one works, and then yeah, I'll see what happens later on with the rest of the code when we start adding more features and things. You could have add skill features or add ability features. So when you equip a weapon, you gain a skill. It could be things like that. So what we want to do is maybe change max HP. So let's go to weapon, the iron sword, add stat feature. We will say change max HP by 1,000. No, too much. 500. Just it's something obvious that we'll see is definitely changed. Now on equip item, when we equip something, we actually want to do something now. We will grab, maybe make it a property, protected, list. You know what? Make it an array. So feature array, get features. Features. If it's get features, it sounds like a function and should probably be a function. Okay, component children features. There we go. So when we equip something, we will catch the feature array, or I guess cache is the correct term, but I say catch just because it sounds like it works as well. So yeah, we'll cache those so we're not looping every time we actually use it. Feature array, let's let's not go crazy here. Okay, feature array length, and then we want to do something. So what do we want to do here? We want to apply when we equip it, and we want to remove when we unequip it. So feature equals that, and then feature dot apply. So when we equip an item, we loop through all the features and we apply them so they can start doing what they're supposed to be doing. And on unequip, we're just going to do the same thing, but in the reverse. Remove. And I'm just thinking there, you can probably have some function that loops and then just carries out some posted code on what you want to do with it. But let's not bog down the code with things like that right now. Equip, unequip, looks great. Let's see if it works. So we should have a lot more max HP on Lorik because I think he's the one with the iron sword. So in the init state, I believe we activate that sort of crap. No, is it in unit? Set default equipment. Equipment, equip, so we are equipping the item. If it's not that, we do equip it. So we should see it already if something changes. Let's see his big health. Ah, it works. Okay, wonderful. So what happens if he takes damage? Is it gonna be just normal? Let's actually change the damage to something. Yep, still looks fine. Now let's start healing him by a lot. Just to make sure that the values work and everything. Yep, 39, which is above the initial, I believe, or the base, 20. I should really have a shortcut for unequipping an item just to see what it does. Yeah, so if I unequip the item, it would be interesting just to see at the moment how it responds. What I think would happen is the max HP would drop back down to 20, but the current HP would stay at its higher level. Uh, Maybe anytime there's an equipment update, it should also update the person's health, just in case something happened. You know what, I'll add in just a possibly temporary event. On change. So when his equipment changes, yeah, on change is probably fine. So only do if it's true. So on change, invoke this, and then event args.empty, and then I think you know what, we do want the unit. So this is going to have its own property, maybe private. Unit, parent unit, return get component and parent unit. We'll pass the unit in here. So when the person's equipment changes, let's actually be a bit better about this. On change event args. So there's going to be a unit. There is going to be an equip item, new item or equipped item, and there should be removed or unequipped item, which can be null. On change, so we'll get rid of this and we will say new this unit is equal to parent unit, equipped item equals unequipped item equals, we'll set equal to null at the top here, and then if it's not null, we will grab the item in this slot. So find, we need to do the reverse of this, equip item from equip slot, or get equip item in slot, and then we pass in which slot we're interested in. If if that actually does have something, so return Okay, so if the item dictionary has something in that slot, we will return the item. Otherwise, we will return null. Unequipped item equals get equip item and equip slot, slot to equip. So when we unequip it, we destroy it, I believe. Maybe there should be a reference to the base item. Private equip item base item. This is what we are instantiating here. Maybe we'll just have a public void set base item. This dot base item equals that. So when we instantiate this in the equipment, instantiate, we get the equip item. We will say equip item dot set base item. This is item to equip. So I will just leave a little to-do message. When building the game part, items won't be instantiated here or destroyed here. So then the unequipped item would just become unequipped item. I don't know if we need that right now, but it might be useful to know what's been removed. Mhm. Alright, so when there has been a change, now we'll use the HP wrapper and I guess MP wrapper. Maybe it, Start wrapper itself can be the one that grabs the equipment change, checks the parent unit, and then maybe public abstract void validate health, and validate health, no it's not, it's validate. Validate will just be, is the current outside of the range it should be? And then if it is, then we'll snap back. So let's see, HP, we have a new abstract method. So when we validate, we're just going to essentially clamp it again. So current equals math.clamp current, and then 0 and maximum. Maybe we'll just grab previous as well. just in case it does change, then we can trigger on changed event, current. Wait, the delta, yeah, the delta would be current minus previous, just like the other ones. And then we'll do the same for MP, which nicely pops up with an error, so I can just click there. Same thing, previous equals current, current equals math.clamp, the current value between 0 and maximum, and then trigger a change event. So start wrapper on start will, I'll put this down the bottom, that seems a bit cleaner. So on start, we will try and catch equipment on change. And when any equipment is changed, if the parent unit is not equal to e.unit, return early because we don't care. But if it is the current unit or the same unit, we will just validate the health or MP or whatever the stat is, just validate. And that should snap it back within the realms that it should be. So maybe not great, but I'm sure it'll work for now until I come up with better ways of doing it. So maybe I'll spend the rest of the video just making a few changes to equipment and things. Add stat feature, max HP, maybe 5, or a bit more for chainmail, 10. Leather, that can be 5. And robe, we will just increase the MP by 5. Weapons, we don't really have any attack or anything, but yeah, you can also do minus, so the dagger can maybe have an extra 5% chance to hit. The great sword can have minus hit, make it more difficult. Iron sword, whatever. Staff again, maybe just give them more MP. So let's see, when there's a couple of different events popping off. So far so good. Pretty solid. Move there and blind that character and turn. Let's do fireballs into a crowd. Seems fine. Heal everyone again. So I'm pretty sure it was 20 and 20. So it looks like the staff and the robes did apply 5 and 5, which is nice. And did it start off at max? That's interesting. No, it's only increasing the maximum for now. So let's see. I guess that's fine because when we change Yeah, that's fine. If you change someone's health, max health or max MP, it doesn't automatically heal to full. So if the game works as in like a Disgaea or a Baldur's Gate type game, then what happens in combat remains outside of combat, so that doesn't really, we don't need to worry about that. And if it's more of a sort of Final Fantasy Tactics game or Tactics Ogre, then it seems like combat is the only place where things change, and so we can just add in at the init battle state, fully heal all combatants just before the game, before the battle starts. So either way, it's fine. So what was this? What would this be called? Adding features. I wonder if I could change the status effect feature as well. And maybe when blind is applied, we just turn on the status features or the stat features, and then when blind is removed, we unsubscribe. That might be doable right now. Hmm. Okay, let's just add another thing here. Features, get, return, get component and children, features. Maybe it's just get components. Yeah, that's fine. So the status effect has how many features it belongs to it. On apply, we can run the status effect specific code, which would be, I guess, whatever. But then we also have the features. So for feature array, and then for each of the features in the feature array, just apply like that. I think I wrote it out a bit more verbose in the other place, but probably doesn't need to be. So equipment or equip item, something. Yeah, I guess we don't need to do this. We just, it's pretty straightforward what we're doing. It's fairly obvious anyway. So just chuck on like that. I guess if this line was really long and it had lots of different brackets and things, then I would probably say you want to break it down, but that's pretty obvious. So let's see, status effect. Now keep in mind this will only run if there are actually features to apply. If there's no features, then it just doesn't do anything. So let's go back into the blind status effect. So we don't really need this now. Oh, blind status effect. So stat change, doesn't need to be there. So when you're blind, you have minus 50 hit, you have minus 50 evasion, and you have minus 50 magic evasion. And let's see, I think I left in the code just when it spits out the hit and miss, so we can test this out again. So someone's getting blinded. Blind on Lorik. So let's see. Yep, Lorik had minus 50 and the target had 0. That looks good to me. But then if this lady wants to attack Lorik, Amy had no hit change, which is fine, and Lorik had minus 50 evasion, which is what we want. Maybe that's magic evasion, I've just written evasion anyway. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's a good bit done. It might not look like a lot, but the foundations are being built, so now anything that adds or removes stats can just be done with a feature on equipment or stats effects. I'm sure there's a lot more like different types that will be added over time, but that's probably fine for now, just to get a little taste of features. What will I do in the next video? Consult the book. Let's see what's in here. Using items, events, enemies. Maybe I'll use item, because that's quite a big category. That involves creating some kind of inventory system, having items, and then also adding some kind of way for the user to use items. So yeah, that I feel up to doing that. So we'll do items in the next video. Thanks for watching.